I'm Marsha, and this video is a contest entry for Steve over at All the World's a Stage. He is doing a contest to celebrate 500 subscribers. So his rules for the contest are to have this video submitted by the end of today, 11:59 Central Time. If you want to do this contest, you've only got a couple of hours left. But even if you don't want to do the contest, please check out Steve's channel because he's got a great channel. He's got a great collection of records. He's got a great collection of rock and roll books. We do a live stream a couple of times a month on Sundays with Trevor from Flat, Round, and Spun. So also check us out on that as well. But please check out Steve's channel. So for this contest, again, he wants us to rank the Led Zeppelin albums and then also tie Led Zeppelin to the number 500. So I don't have any Zeppelin on vinyl. I have, I think, 6 of their albums on CD. I didn't bother to bring those out today because I'm getting to this contest rather late. But at one point in time, I had all of their albums on cassette, and I even had the big box set that came out in the early 90s on cassette. When I was in my teenage years, in my early 20s, I loved Led Zeppelin. Admittedly, I don't listen to them as much, if at all, anymore as an adult, but I still do love them. I still hold a soft spot in my heart for Led Zeppelin, but I did have to listen to all of their albums again to be able to make the submission for the contest. He does not want us to include Coda. He only wants the studio albums. So I took a lot of notes and I've got my rankings. So let's get started. Coming in at number 8 is Presence. And the reason I have Presence as my least favorite Led Zeppelin album is because it is incredibly dull and incredibly boring. It is tedious and boring, and I was ecstatic when it was over because I didn't have to keep on listening to it anymore. That was all the emotion that album got out of me, was that I was happy it was done with because that was an incredibly long 43-minute album. Coming in at number 7 is In Through the Outdoor. This seems to be everybody's least favorite album. I know Steve hates it. He does not have anything positive to say about In Through the Outdoor. But this is, I want to say this was the first Led Zeppelin album I owned. And I still do. I like it. You know, Presence, in terms of rankings, it ranks very, very low. I should say 7 through 1 are only separated by a couple of decimal points. And I still like In Through the Outdoor. Number 6 is Led Zeppelin 1. And I really don't have a lot to say about Led Zeppelin 1 other than I'm surprised it came in at number 6. I'm actually quite surprised with some of these rankings. I would have thought if I would have just done it without listening to them, I'd have a completely different list except for 8 and 7. Number 5 is Led Zeppelin 4. And the reason it's my number 5 is because everything on that album is just overplayed. I've just been exposed to all those songs too much, so nothing is fresh or original on it to me anymore. I would have thought this would have been my number 1, and if I had done this list when I was 19, 20, 21, absolutely 4 would have been my top. But again, it's just not original to me anymore, and it doesn't hold a place of comfort music for me either when I hear these songs on classic rock radio, which we happen to listen to quite a bit in the office I work in. I just get a little bit annoyed by them, but I do really like all these songs in the context of the full album. I don't hate 4. I don't hate it by a lot, actually. Number 4 and number 3 actually tied. And the reason I put Physical Graffiti at number 4 is because the opening and closing tracks of Physical Graffiti are terrible. Absolutely horrendous. The rest of the meat of that album is good, but Custard Pie is an incredibly dull opener for a double album. I think if you're going to put out a double album, you've got to have something that captures your audience's attention much more than Custard Pie. So The other album that tied that I put at number 3 is Led Zeppelin 2. Openers and closers on 2 are fantastic. That's how you open an album. Whole lot of love. My number 2 Led Zeppelin album is Led Zeppelin 3, which I was surprised it ranked as high as it did, but I'm happy it's as high as it is. I will say when I listened to 3, that is the one that sounded most, well, fresh and original. I said 4 didn't sound fresh and original anymore, but 3 did. And number 1 is Houses of the Holy. And I was very shocked that it was Houses of the Holy, because I want to say when I was a teenager, Houses of the Holy was the album that I listened to the least. But I absolutely enjoyed the hell out of that album the most this go around over the last several weeks of listening to these albums. Now, to get to 500, I really stressed out about that quite a bit. I cursed Steve a lot. I said a lot of bad things about Steve, and I take all of that back. I am an overthinker, so I really had to put a lot of thought into how to get to 500, and then I finally realized I should just go over to Reddit and have them do the work for me, because people over there love to put numbers to things and do rankings and argue with each other. So if you have issue with these numbers that I'm going to throw out, please go over to Reddit and argue with them, as opposed to putting nasty comments on my YouTube video. They love that kind of shit over at Reddit. Anyways, so Led Zeppelin has said the word baby or babe a total of 347 times. When the Levee Breaks is their most sampled song, and it's been sampled 240 times. That comes to 587. Their catalog of songs, including Coda, comes to 82. So you subtract 82 from 587. That leaves you with 505. And Led Zeppelin's 5th album, Houses of the Holy, is my favorite Led Zeppelin album, which brings us to 500. Anyways, be sure to check out Steve's channel again. It's All the World's a Stage. He is an incredibly nice man. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching my video. Bye.